Well, with Vivek Ramaswamy officially dropping out of the race to be the Republican nominee for president here in 2024, I wanted to examine his political future because he is such a unique candidate, especially within the Republican Party. Extremely young, only 38. This would be the first time he would even be eligible to run for president of the United States. And with him being so young, you do have to wonder, what is his future in politics within the Republican Party? Because Donald Trump, he's not going to be around forever. We're going to kind of examine the different paths that might play out here for Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, Vivek is someone that came on my radar last February. I believe I made my first video on him in early March before he was even polling, because he was just so articulate. He was saying a lot of interesting, different, unique stuff that was even outside of what Trump was touching on. It made for very interesting conversation and a unique candidate, and Vivek actually did kind of have a little bit of a run, if you want to say that, in terms of, I believe at one point he was in second place within the Republican Party in terms of running for president. He was never going to beat out Trump because a lot of people think he's just parroting what Trump is saying, and to a large degree, they would be correct. He fits the bill as kind of like the pro-Trump, anti-establishment candidate, and that's kind of why his campaign never took off. If you're going to vote for Vivek, why wouldn't you just vote for Trump? It's like Trump was there first. He's got a bigger base. He beat Hillary. The establishment is going after him. People want to protect Trump, and Vivek was never able to siphon off enough of that vote. And it kind of did get a little ridiculous with Vivek coming in late and saying, you know, you should vote for me because they're going to take Trump out. That just doesn't make much sense. Why would you, if you're a Trump fan, why would you not vote for Trump, even with the idea that they might take him out? Either way, when it comes to Vivek's future, we saw him immediately after dropping out on the night of the Iowa caucus endorse Donald Trump, and the next day go to New Hampshire with Trump standing right behind him. And Vivek can certainly be a lethal weapon for Trump, just in terms of the way he's able to talk, the way he's able to argue. The big question a lot of people are asking now, will Vivek be Trump's VP? Should he want to be Trump's VP? And I think the answer is absolutely yes. For Vivek, there's a few different things that can happen, but you should 100%, in a situation where he's only 38, if you can be Trump's VP, really get your foot in the door in terms of the political realm. I mean, you would think if Trump wins in 2024 with Ramaswamy as his VP, Ramaswamy is the overwhelming favorite in 2028 to be the Republican nominee. We've seen past history. I mean, look at Joe Biden, for example, a former VP coming back. It's happened so many times throughout politics, and one of the big issues people have with Vivek right now is the fact that he doesn't have a lot of political experience. He's very young. That could all change if he serves with Trump for 4 years. Another big issue, and I don't like talking about this, but it is Vivek's race within the Republican Party being Indian. A lot of people think that's a problem. Republicans would never elect someone like that. I tend to think that's not true. I'm not going to speculate on that, though. It does no one any good, but that could be another hurdle for Vivek within the Republican Party. But either way, it is a bit of a risk, because you have to understand, let's say Vivek becomes Trump's VP and Trump loses. That is a bad look for him, being the VP of a candidate that ends up losing. Trump would lose back-to-back elections in 2020 and 2024. I'm not going to speculate on the election process and what goes into that, and obviously a lot of unknowns. But if Trump actually does lose, that's a risk that Vivek would be taking. If you are the VP, that's a bad look on your political resume. You're the VP of somebody that lost, and that would really halt the momentum. And maybe even, you have to wonder, will it actually change the current dynamics of the Republican Party? Because the dynamics are almost fully anti-establishment. I wouldn't say almost fully. There's about 35% that are still more establishment, John McCain people, the Mitt Romney people, the Nikki Haley people. There's a segment and a base of that within the Republican Party, but I think at this point, the MAGA movement is so overwhelming. That's why a lot of these people are shocked, and you're seeing many of these establishment Republican senators come out and actually endorse Trump because they see the writing on the wall. They know that this is over. what will the dynamics look like within the Republican Party? I mean, if Trump wins in 2024 with Vivek, he doesn't even have to be the VP, but you would think Vivek would have some type of cabinet position. It's going to help catapult Vivek in 2028 if he does want to run. And you would figure, I mean, with him being so young and the big knock on him, he just randomly comes in. People normally want you to prove yourself, prove that you're an actual conservative, show some leadership rather than just come out of nowhere and be the president. So Vivek would have some type of cabinet position or be the VP if Trump wins. If he loses, is there still a big enough segment within the Republican Party of anti-establishment for Vivek to still possibly be the nominee in 2028? I'm not sure about that. There are a number of different paths he could take, but if you are Trump, certainly you're going to want someone like Ramaswamy in your corner. That is a very elite political weapon to argue for you. And especially when you're talking about this day and age in social media, there are so many people. I mean, I was doing a live stream during the Iowa caucus. They were like, I am shocked that Vivek is not performing well. He's only at 7 or 8%. And I was saying, guys, he's only at 7 or 8% in terms of the polls. Remember, this is Iowa. A lot of people, they look at the perception of Vivek on social media. He's a great marketer. He records everything. His work ethic is ridiculous. And they thought, oh my goodness, he's going to, and honestly, I thought he would at least get 10% just based on the amount of rallies and political luncheons and events he was doing. It didn't happen, but still, it just goes to show you the dude is a ridiculous hard worker. And I think Trump is very tempted to make him his VP. Politically, I'm not sure if that's a smart strategy, because when you're talking about VP, you're talking about attracting to a wider base of voters. That's why a woman VP might be more beneficial to Trump. You're looking at the betting odds. I saw Kristi Noem was the number one, with Ramaswamy sitting at number 2 in terms of betting odds, the recent ones that were just updated a few days ago. It'll be an interesting decision for Trump, and it'll be an interesting political future for Vivek Ramaswamy, but he certainly checks off a lot of boxes. Yes, sometimes it does get a little bit corny because he repeats the same thing 500 times, but still, I mean, they were talking about, could you imagine a debate, when the VPs do their one debate? It's always weird how the presidents and the candidates for president, Republican, Democrat, it's probably going to be Biden, Trump. They should be debating 3 times. They normally do 3 debates. I think that's what Trump and Hillary did. And then the VPs always do a one-off random debate. Tim Kaine versus Mike Pence. Oh, it's pathetic. But how about Ramaswamy versus Kamala Harris? By the way, I mean, that Kamala Harris situation is just crazy to me. The Democrats are kind of just stuck with Biden at this point because I'm not going to get into that, but it's just an interesting dynamic. It's like if you want to get rid of Biden, you kind of have to put up Kamala Harris. Like, I mean, are you going to pass her by for a white dude like Gavin Newsom? Isn't that what your party is against? I don't know. It's just kind of a funny dynamic. I'm thinking about doing a video on that titled "The Democrats Have a Kamala Harris Problem." I don't know. It's just interesting dynamics. But either way, just talking about Ramaswamy, you're looking at either a cabinet position or the VP. If he wants to be more risky, go with the VP. If Trump wins in 2024 with Vivek as his VP, you would have to think Vivek would be a big favorite, or at least one of the top choices. 2028, all of the MAGA people would be behind him because he won with Trump in 2024. He fully endorsed him. Or you could go a little bit more low-key with a cabinet position, keep your name in the news, and basically be Trump's propaganda machine while not dealing with the horrible baggage if Trump loses, because if you're the VP and Trump loses, that's going to be more of a problem and more of a stain on your resume, and that may cause a shift within the Republican Party. The other question is a bit of a wild card. I mean, when you look at 2028, it's too soon. I'm interested to see what someone like Glenn Youngkin does. The winner, in Virginia, shocking considering Virginia, we think of it, and it is more of a left-leaning state. You have to wonder, there was rumors, maybe 2024. It's not going to happen. He's passing up on 2024. That's exactly what DeSantis should have done, but I don't blame DeSantis for running in 2024. After you win the midterms by 20 points in a swing state like Florida, even as an incumbent, that's a ridiculous margin. I mean, you got to try and strike while the iron is hot, especially in politics. But DeSantis' campaign, clearly, DeSantis' political future is very interesting as well. I would imagine, Super Tuesday, he drops out immediately, endorses Trump, tries to save his political future. within the Republican Party, but we will see. Either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.